Welcome everyone. Today we're going to move through a slow flow to find some grounding and calm amongst the stress and uncertainty of daily life. So jump on your mat and let's get started. So to get started today, you can come to your mat on a comfortable seat. So you can be sitting up on your knees, or if that's uncomfortable, you can find any other sitting position that's good for you. And we'll just begin with some breathing and centering to drop into our bodies. So you can close your eyes or gaze down at the floor in front of you. And just begin to notice your breath. Your hands can rest on your lap, or you can bring one hand to your chest and one hand to your belly to really feel the flow of breath in your body. And often during times of stress, we become shallow in our breathing and breathe only into the upper part of our chest. So see if that's you. It's okay if it is. And as you begin to take note of your breath, see if in time you can slowly move the breath down a little deeper into the belly. Even if your belly rises and falls only a centimeter, it's enough. You are enough. Stay here for a few moments, sending the breath down into the belly. As you inhale, inflating through the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And deflating all the way back down. As you follow your breath in this way, notice what happens to your physical body. Perhaps the muscles of the face begin to soften and slide down, sending some relaxation into your shoulders. And as you breathe in, imagine your breath starting at the base of your spine and moving up through the belly, through the chest, all the way through the spine. And as you exhale, allowing the breath to float all the way back down. In this way, watching as the breath moves up and down along the spine. Just imagining. What goes up must come down, right? So whenever we're lost in the midst of all of the mental chatter or the stress outside of our bodies, and we're out here, eventually we're going to have to come and settle back down. And tuning in with your breath in this way is a really great technique to do that. So take a few more breaths here. Letting your exhale ground you down into the floor, to the earth beneath the floor. When you're ready, if you're not on your knees already, coming to them and folding forward over top of your thighs, bringing your hands in front of you and lowering your head to the floor in child's pose. You can rock the forehead from side to side on the mat, massaging through the brow bone. And letting your head connect to the earth. On your next inhale, slowly walk yourself back up to your seat. And then swing your arms up and out towards the ceiling. As you exhale, draw your hands to your heart. And let your left hand drop to your lap as you bring your right hand to the muscles of your neck. Taking just a few moments here of your day to tend to yourself, giving yourself a little massage through the neck, the muscles of the shoulders, and even working your way all the way down that left arm. So many of us hold so much tension in these places. So see if you can bring about a little ease instead. And when you're satisfied, sweep your arms out and up again. Exhale, draw down to your heart and take this time the left hand to the side of the neck. And finding whatever feels good to you here. Maybe moving down through the shoulder blades or the front of the chest. Or slowly making your way down your right arm. There's no rush. And then letting it go and sliding your hands back in front of you now, coming onto your hands and knees in all fours position, wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. And as you inhale, drop the belly, look up. And as you exhale, round through your back, press the floor away, chin to chest. Inhale, tailbone lifts, gaze lifts. Exhale, tailbone draws down to the floor, looking inward. Take a few more rounds here, working with your own rhythm of breath, your own pace. Pressing your palms and the tops of your feet firmly into the floor. And take one more round and then meet back in this tabletop position. And tuck your toes and slowly paint your hips up towards the ceiling as you straighten your legs into downward facing dog. And begin to pedal out your feet here, bending a one knee and then the other, pressing into all 10 fingertips. Moving your heels towards the floor, stretching through the backs of the legs. And then on your next inhale, come all the way up onto your tippy toes, bend your knees and draw your chest towards your thighs. As you exhale, keep your upper body where it is and lower your heels towards the floor, extending the legs. Inhale on the toes, bend the knees. Exhale, straighten the legs, heels, draw to the floor. One more time, inhale, lifting up, bend the knees. Exhale, release it down. And rest for one breath. Then slowly walk your feet up to meet your hands at the top of your mat. As you inhale, bring your fingertips to your shins or your thighs, extending out through the crown of your head, halfway lift. And as you exhale, fold all the way back down. Bend your knees, inhale, reach all the way up to standing mountain pose. Exhale, hands to your heart. Draw your hands down along your sides, palms facing forward, and close your eyes. Becoming aware of the sensation of your feet against the floor. Pressing down through all four corners of the feet. The big toe, the pinky toe, and both edges of the heel. And feel that lift all the way up through the arches of the feet, all the way through the legs, into the torso, and up through the spine. Coming back to that quality of breath for a few moments. As you inhale, feel the breath traveling all the way up. And as you exhale, feeling your breath moving all the way down. And And coming back to that belly breathing. Noticing if it's a little easier maybe for you than it was at the beginning. Maybe not. That's okay too. And on your next in-breath, maybe keeping those eyes closed or blinking them open, draw your hands slowly up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, flip the palms, push the air away from you, and float them all the way back down. Inhale, lift. Pressing the air away from you. Exhale. Slowly moving with your breath. Staying rooted through your feet. Inhale, let the movement take up the full length of your breath. And let your breath take up the full length of the movement. Take one more. Lift the arms up. And this time on your exhale, fold from your hips all the way down to forward fold. Inhale, coming up to halfway lift, your version. Exhale, release it down, forward fold. Plant your palms and walk your feet all the way back until you drop down onto your knees, back in tabletop. Knees right underneath the hips. And then take your left knee and lift that knee and draw nice big circles with the hip. Trying to maintain your balance so that you're not tilting all the way over into the right, but pressing evenly through both hands. Engaging through the abdominal wall. Taking nice slow circles here. And then reverse. Taking them the other way. Opening up the hip. Finding some balance. Take one more circle and then extend your legs straight out behind you. Flexing your toes towards the floor and pressing out and away from your fingertips, from your palms. Engaging through the core, finding this stability. Breathe. Then lower the knee back to the floor. Take a round of cat-cow to reset. And then taking that same little sequence on the other side. So starting with the right knee, drawing big circles in either direction. Fingers spread nice and wide. And really taking your time as you move through the whole hip joint. Notice what it takes to move a little bit more slowly when you're feeling off balance. And slowly reverse your circles. And see if you can use what you learn on your mat, off your mat, too. Remembering your breath. Take one more circle. And then extend the right leg long all the way back behind you. Flexing the toes towards the floor to keep the hips level. And breathe here for 2 full cycles of breath. Lifting from the inner thigh, pressing out and away from the floor, and slowly lower. Bringing the 2 big toes together, the knees as wide as your mat. Send your hips towards your heels, child's pose. This time, feel free to bend the hands at the elbows, bringing the hands together above your head to get a nice stretch through the backs of the arms and the shoulders. Release the hands and slowly come back up to all fours, drawing the knees back underneath you. And then lift that left leg out and up again as if we're taking those circles, and then draw the left foot all the way to the outer edge of your mat. Making sure your left knee is stacked right over your left ankle, and pressing your right hand into the floor or bringing it to the fingertips. As you inhale, lift the left arm, looking towards your left for a twist. Inhale, and exhale, slowly lower the left hand back down to the inside of the left foot. So you can stay here on the palms, or if you have blocks or books, you can bring them underneath your hands as well. So from here, in our lizard pose, beginning to walk the hands over to the right. So that maybe they come off your mat, and that's okay. And just taking this little twist here, opening through the hips and the low back. And either staying on your fingertips, on your palms, or your props, or maybe dropping down in time to the forearms. Making sure you're still pressing in firmly with that left foot. And breathe here. Let your head be heavy. And gently coming back to your hands if you're not there already, and walking your hands back to your mat. Heel toe the left foot back to the center as you bring the left hand back around, and shift your weight into your right leg as you extend the left foot long, walking the fingertips back, coming into half splits. So thinking about drawing your left hip back in space and your right hip forward so that your hips are square. And if it's open to you, you can fold forward over that left leg, getting a deep stretch through the back of the calf and the hamstring. On your next inhale, slowly fold forward, bending through the left knee, planting the palms and sending the left foot back to meet the right. And taking that on the other side, lift the right knee out, and then draw the right foot to the outer edge of your mat. Planting the left hand or coming to the fingertips. Inhale, open the right hand up towards the ceiling, twisting to the right. And letting gravity do the work here, drawing your hips down towards the floor. Exhale, release the right hand down to the inside of the right foot. And then grabbing your books or your props again if you need them or you want them, and gently walk your hands to the left, towards the upper left corner of your mat or even off your mat. Finding your version of this pose. And letting your head hang heavy. And letting your breath be soft. Slowly make your way back to the front of your mat. Frame your front foot as you draw it back between your hands. And send your weight into your left knee as you straighten the right leg and walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. Left hip draws forward, right hip draws back. And staying lifted or folding forward. Perhaps coming back to that breath, washing up and down the spine as you breathe here. And slowly bending through the right knee, coming forward, and then drawing the right knee back to meet your left. Coming to all fours. Then tuck the toes and send your hips all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Then take a nice little stroll up to meet your hands. Bending your knees generously. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let it go. Bend your knees. Inhale, root to rise. Reach all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach up. This time on an exhale, drop your left hand forward, your right hand back. Both hips pointing towards the front of the room and gazing to your right. Inhale, sweep both hands up. Exhale, right hand forward, left hand back this time. Gentle twist, twisting from the waist, not the hips. And inhale, take it all the way back up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Then bring your hands to your hips. Pressing the right foot really firmly into the floor. Send your left foot back a few feet, bending into that right knee and turning the left toes out about 45 degrees. So take a look down at your feet, making sure that they're not on a tightrope, one right in front of the other, but are more on train tracks. So still hips width apart in front of you. And then drawing the hips towards square, tucking the pelvis underneath you, arriving here in Warrior One. As you inhale, sweep the arms all the way out and up. Exhale, hands to your heart, engage through your core. Inhale one more time, reach up. Exhale this time, float your hands down and interlace your fingers behind your low back. Drawing the fist down towards the floor, lifting through your chest. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly folding from your hips, drawing your chest forward. So really still actively pressing down through that back foot, especially the long edge of the back foot, so that you don't lose your balance. And fold forward any amount, but perhaps allowing your torso to rest on your front thigh. And relaxing your head towards the floor, humble warrior. Surrendering to what you can't control. And as you inhale, coming back up, feeling empowered to change what you can. Release the hands. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands to your heart. And then drawing your hands back to your hips, step the left foot back up to meet the right. And taking that on the other side, pressing firmly into the left foot and step your right foot back behind you. Turning your right toes out about 45 degrees and bending into the front knee. So again, drawing your left hip back, your right hip forward, and tucking your tailbone underneath you. Coming again to warrior one. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Pressing firmly into both feet. Exhale, reach the hands down and interlace the fingers the opposite way behind your low back. So placing the opposite thumb on top this time might feel a little funky. And roll the shoulders back, lift through your chest. Inhale. And as you exhale, bow gently forward any amount. Really pressing firmly back, down through the back leg. Strong through your foundation. Soften the muscles of your face. And slowly rise up, release the hands with control, reach them up. Exhale, hands to your heart. And step your right foot up to meet your left. And shifting your weight now into the right foot without bumping out the right hip, but sending your weight straight down into the floor. Lift your left foot and give that ankle a roll in one direction, then the other. Then bring the sole of your left foot either to your ankle, keeping that toe on the floor as a kickstand, drawing it up to the inner shin, or perhaps drawing it up to your inner thigh. Finding whatever version suits you today on this side. And bringing your hands in front of you, in front of your heart, or reaching them up towards the ceiling. Finding your balance and letting that strong supporting leg support you as you send your roots down into the floor and grow your branches up towards the sky. And exhale, slowly lower your hands down and continue the movement of the left knee as you reach it back behind you, coming into warrior two. So feet are perpendicular. There's a nice deep bend through the front knee, and your arms can extend out in front of you. Then gently sweep your left hand underneath your right, crossing your hands at your elbows, and perhaps hooking your thumb and pinky together, or maybe wrapping at the wrists. Drawing the elbows up to shoulder height, and getting this really deep stretch through your upper back, while still maintaining this warrior two stance through the legs. Inhale, release your arms all the way back out. Exhale, use your left hand to sweep the right leg, or the left leg, forward, back in front of you. And then shifting your weight into the left side. Begin by lifting the right knee. And if and when you fall out of it, welcome yourself back to try again. Rolling the ankle. And then finding your version of tree pose. Big toe on the floor, resting on the ankle joint, or on the inner shin, or the inner thigh. So you get to choose here what feels good on this side, which is a totally different and new side than the first. Take a few breaths here, bringing your hands to your heart or up towards the ceiling. Soft bend through the left knee. And really pressing your foot into your leg and your leg into your foot. And slowly lower your hands back down. Awesome job. And then extending that, moving in the same direction, sweeping the right leg back behind you, bending through the left knee, opening your arms out, warrior two. This time, sweeping your right elbow underneath your left, crossing at the elbows, and finding any other variation through the fingers or the wrists. Lifting your shoulders or your elbows up to shoulder height. Rolling your shoulders down your back. Take it all in here. And inhale, release, reach out. Exhale, sweep the right foot up with the right hand. Come back to standing mountain pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, forward fold. Last time, inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Plant your palms and walk your feet back to downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet. Notice how you've changed. And slowly lower to your knees, setting yourself up for a final child's pose. So this will be our Shavasana today. We'll be here for a minute or two. So find a comfortable position that feels grounding to you. And allow your breath to flow freely and evenly, moving in and out. You can keep your hands in front of you, bending your elbows, or wrap your hands around your legs. Your choice. when you're ready, slowly, gently walking yourself back up to your seated position, finishing the way we began today. And I invite you to take one more full deep breath with me today. So as you inhale, reach your arms all the way out and up. And exhale, draw your hands down towards your heart, gently bowing to your heart. Thanking yourself for taking this time today to come back to yourself and to find a little peace, a little calm, knowing that that is always available to you. Thank you so much. Namaste.